Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review for the Super Mario Bros. Movie. Yeah, and I got to watch it in 4K, and I really enjoyed this movie. Now, just because I'm wearing an Xbox shirt, I don't really have any Nintendo one, so video game. This jacket is not the bad jacket. This movie is fucking awesome. It's pretty as fuck all in 4K, and it is probably the best video game adaptation movie I have seen. Like, there are probably other ones that were pretty good, but this is amazing. Okay, if you saw my Gran Turismo one, you'd be like, that one seemed like it had stuff to be just pretty much a Sony ad. This is not a Nintendo ad. This treats the franchise well. It has nice, funny little homages throughout the whole thing. It takes it seriously, and it's crafted lovingly with heart about the Super Mario Bros. And the cast is great. The animation is great. Like, fuck, the story is simple, but effectively done and told. I would recommend this to anyone. Like, I'm going to get into spoilers and everything, but if you're just, like, watching this and be like, what do you think of this movie? I think it's really good. I think this would be good for any and all ages, barring really, really small children. They might be freaked out or afraid about certain kind of stuff. But kids, adults, anyone. This is a good movie. I really enjoyed it, and I would recommend it to anyone. People that like video games, people that don't like video games. It's just a good, really well done and well told movie. So, let's get into why I like it. So, the story, we get introduced to Mario and Luigi. We see their whole kind of commercial. They've left this other kind of asshole dude who doesn't believe in them and thinks that they won't be able to do anything, as they then go about their day trying to do their first customer from their commercial, and how they have to deal with the craziness of a dog. And Chris Pratt does a great job as Mario, and Charlie Day does a good job as Luigi. Charlie Day, right? Which is fucking insanity. Everybody does a great job as their characters in here. Like, we even do have Mario's original voice actor in here as his own character as well, which I'm glad that they did. But we see them having to deal with this dog being an asshole and everything, and it just kind of going sideways. Mario's father and the rest of the family not believing in them. Them not even really believing in Luigi either. That he's afraid and scared of a lot of different kind of stuff. And we see each character have an arc. Mario wanting to do these kind of things and build his own plumbing business and everything, and just getting stymied. I really felt for him. And Luigi, I felt for him as well, of like all this fear and just being afraid of everything and trying to deal with that. As we then see that there's this giant kind of plumbing thing that they're trying to kind of then go to make them a name for themselves. However, they then try and like deal with it, but then get sucked into a warp tube. It's like, what the fuck? And we also see that Bowser is doing and making moves. He goes against this Ice Kingdom penguins and steals their superstars. Like, what the fuck's going on here? What's Bowser's whole kind of motivation and everything? Well, we start seeing that throughout the movie as Mario and Luigi are separated. Luigi getting thrown into the Darklands, Mario getting thrown into the Mushroom Kingdom, and teaming up with Toad, and saying that, like, we gotta go to the princess and check this out. We also learned that Bowser is attempting to use the star and is in love with Princess Peach and wants her to marry him. And I kind of like that as his motivation. He is trying to be this, like, rock kind of dude, but he makes this love song, the whole Peaches song, which I now get, since it's been so, like, I've known it's been around for a while, and it's like, okay, him being just obsessed with Peach and wanting to marry her and in love and doing all these horrible things, it's like, oh, you're really going to have a bad time when this kind of shakes out. So we see that Mario kind of goes through, sees the Mushroom Kingdom, gets introduced to Princess Peach, who understands that Bowser's on the move and that she needs to do something to protect the Mushroom Kingdom. So she's going to go to the Jungle Kingdom to get the Kong army to try and help them fight off Bowser. She links up with Mario, and she's like, "Who the fuck are you?" And she's like, "Wait a minute, you're a fucking human. What the hell?" And because everybody else is the mushroom people, the toad, and it's like, "What the fuck?" And then she's like, "All right, you can come with me if you can do this kind of course." And then it starts introducing the platforming aspects of Mario, and it's so fucking effective how it's done, where we would switch certain kind of perspectives and see them going through as the traditional kind of Mario 2D platforming things that would go on. We see Peach run the course, and she just knocks that shit out. Granted, she's from there, she's been raised there since she was a baby, and Mario does his best, but he doesn't quite do it, but she's like, "Fine, cool, come with me anyway." And Toad decides to go with them as well. Luigi gets captured by Bowser because he then starts getting information that she's running around with this mustachioed man, and he's like, ugh. He's really not happy about that, and then we see that Luigi gets thrown and locked up, as we also see this like weird little thing that's very, very kind of depressing, like, "We are in misery, we are screwed." It's like, oh god, I know it's supposed to be done funny, but his shit hits a little bit too close to home. It's like, motherfucker. So then the penguins are in there, and it's like, oh shit, fuck. So they pretty much tool around in there for a little bit. Mario and them are able to get to the Kongs, and we see that Cranky Kong will only let them do this if Mario's like, "Hey, if I defeat your son, will you give us the army?" And Peach is like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And he then has one hell of a fight between Donkey Kong, which fucking is awesome. We get the Donkey Kong rap, we get Diddy Kong and that shit, and it doesn't feel just like fan service or just the barest minimum of effort. It works organically with what's going on, and you really feel their rivalry and everything. And Mario ekes it out, getting like a certain kind of power up with the cat one, and is able to defeat Donkey Kong. And then Cranky's like, "All right then." And then we start getting the pretty much Mario Kart aspects, which were really kind of awesome. And incidentally enough, they started playing Thunderstruck by AC/DC, which I did not fucking in a million years expect to ever kind of happen. I'm just like, an AC/DC song in a Super Mario Bros. Movie. Thank you. I mean, AC/DC is one of my favorite bands. Yeah. So then they start kind of driving on the Rainbow Bridge. We get Mario Kart action as Bowser's forces are attempting to ambush them, and pretty much takes them out. Captures the Kong army. Mario and Donkey Kong are thrown into the sea. Peach and Toad are able to kind of escape as they are trying to evacuate the Mushroom Kingdom before Bowser pretty much gets there and threatens to destroy the kingdom and everyone, and Peach decides to then acquiesce to his demands to marry her. However, Toad and her kind of have another kind of thing. We also see that there's a lot of wedding gifts, one of them being a Yoshi egg, which is nice because we still get that towards the end of the movie. So we see that Toad gives her an ice power-up, and she's able to freeze Bowser and everything. He is attempting to sacrifice his prisoners and melt them, but Luigi gets saved just in the nick of time. Mario and Donkey Kong bond over the fact that neither of their fathers really believe in them, and that they're trying to get their respect. But they fly out of essentially this giant kind of eel thing, and are able to come to the day, and they're trying to work this kind of out. However, Bowser gets free and sets a bomber bill to destroy the Mushroom Kingdom. However, Mario gets the power-up of the Tanuki. Also, we see Donkey Kong get a power-up as well with flames and everything. That 2D sequence, that was a good sequence as they're like going around busting Bowser's forces. But we then see Mario is able to kind of like fuck with the Bomber Bill, and then leads the Bomber Bill pretty much to the warp pipe, which then explodes and sucks everything into Mario's world. And he also made a kind of little joke that there's turtles in his world, but they're pets. We'll see that in a minute. So they start kind of like fighting Bowser's forces, but Mario's getting really beat up, and he's kind of afraid and everything, and he's trying to like figure out what he needs to do, and then he gets the courage to go back out, and then Bowser attempts to utilize his flame breath on him, but then we see that Luigi, tired of being afraid and tired of seeing what's going on with his brother, decides to help, because throughout the whole thing, it's like if they're together, they can do anything. And now granted, this is just kind of like having siblings and kind of understanding the kind of power that you can get team-wise. He's shielding him from the fire with the sewer, this kind of manhole cover, and then they both get the superstar, utilize it, become the Super Mario Brothers, and whoop, wholesale ass, and beat Bowser down, and it's glorious. It understands what it needs to do and what it wants to convey, and seeing them work together and defeat these forces with themselves and their friends, it's really awesome. And then we see that they force a blue mushroom to Bowser and make him small. And she's like, Mario's like, I told you I'd get you a turtle. And then we see the dude that was their kind of asshole boss dude being like, let's hear it for the Mario Brothers! And everyone's clapping and all that, and it's all great. And we see that they decide to move to the Mushroom Kingdom and do their kind of plumbing trade there. We see that Bowser is locked in a cage doing his Peaches song, and at the very end of the movie, we see Yoshi's egg going Yoshi at the end as it's cracking and getting ready to hatch. And I'm like, that's a great tease there to have Yoshi. I'm like, I hope that we get another one. This was a very good investment for me. It was on sale for like $10 over like Black Friday and everything like that. And the 4K, it was just beautiful to look at and just worked very well. I'm like, oh yeah, I try and get physical as much as possible since everything's going fucking nutty doo-dah with streaming and everything, and you never know when they're going to be on places, because I did see that this was on Netflix at a certain kind of point. So if you can see it at some place, and you see it at a good price, or it's on your streaming service, I would highly recommend watching this. Granted, I would recommend doing a nice sit-down first, and actually like going through and experiencing the movie, and then this would definitely be a good one to have on in the background, and then call out your favorite moments or whatnot if you need something. Like, I vastly enjoyed this movie more than I thought I would, and I would wholeheartedly recommend it to anyone. Now, does that mean everybody's going to like it? No, I understand that. You really kind of have to be into these kind of movies, into their kind of message and whatnot, and into the world, the characters, and what they're trying to convey and all that. So it's definitely not going to be for everyone, and if you don't like it, that's cool. I get that. I just really enjoyed it and recommend it to anybody. And I'm really glad that I was able to do that and be like, yeah, good jacket movie. Good jacket movie. So, those are my opinions on the movie. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.